incentive pay. After that, this is such a big key. And I've seen such a huge change in my post screens after diving into this with my squad. And this is something that I used to do in every interview when it was just us standing up there. So after the fourth video, I'll come up and I say, great, well, first things first, if somebody's accepted onto our team, there's a lot of tiny little push ways. So if somebody is accepted onto our team, as a company, we just wanted to make sure that they got started the right way, in a comfortable way. What we did not want is for somebody to go through 2 days of training with me and have to finish and go show a complete random stranger knives right out of training. I wouldn't be here if that were the case. You guys know, I told you this at the beginning, I was a little bit introverted coming out of high school. People was not my strong suit. If I had to go show a complete random stranger right out of training, I honestly wouldn't be standing here right now. It was nice for me. I got to my first practice appointment right out of training was with my neighbor, Gary and Marie, and it was awesome. They were happy to let me come over and practice with them. I remember stumbling my way through my manual. I forgot to cut my petty, which is like the most important part that you do on every demo. And but they were great. They laughed along with me as I stumbled my way through. They bought, I think, our 4th largest set, and they've loved it for 8 years now. But it was in a comfortable place. So when a rep first gets started, that's the most important part, is that they can build their confidence with, and the most important part is they're getting referrals from every single one of those people. Our reps get 5 to 10 referrals from every single customer that they see. So not only are they practicing in a comfortable place, but all their referrals are coming from a really comfortable place. Now on the flip side of that, in a rep's first 10 days, in a rep's first couple weeks on this job, there are some exciting things that happen. I have a couple people that I work with and a couple reps on the team that would consider themselves to be a little bit more motivated than the average person. That would consider themselves to be a little bit more motivated than the average person, that really want to get paid for their value versus just their time. And a good example of that, if you take a look up here, you'll see a girl named Jenna Ebert. And Jenna Ebert, when I interviewed her, well, she got recommended to the job by a friend, actually who lives out in Sacramento, California. She goes to CU Boulder. And I interviewed Jenna. At the end, when I accepted her for the position, I thought she'd be an awesome fit. She was a tri-sport athlete in high school, and she's crushing college right now, right what we're looking for. And when I accepted her, she had asked me, she's like, well, how, with this job, she's like, how do I get off to a much better start than most? She's like, I'm really motivated by this. I'm not going to be in town for much longer. She was leaving to go back home. She's like, I really want to crush this job at a high level up about what should I focus on? And I told her, the average rep that starts practices with about 15 people that they know in their first 10 days on the job. Over here I have my pay breakdown. Okay, that's my percentage pay breakdown. The average rep that practices with 15 people, they'll sell between $3,000 and $4,000. That's average in our office. That's $500 to $600 in income. And so I told Jenna, I was like, if you want to do above average, practice with a heck of a lot more than 15 people. It's all a numbers game. 70% of people that see Cutco, they'll buy, on average, they buy $250 to $350 worth of stuff. So I was like, at that point, it's all a numbers game. And then I showed her in my training room over here, I'm telling this to my interview class. In my training room over here, I have this wall. It's a wall of fame. And it's got 27 faces of girls and guys in the office that in the past couple of years have sold a minimum of $10,000 or more worth of Cutco in their first 10 days. That's a little over $2,000 in income. And Jenna was really wanting to do that. She asked me how she could get that done if some of those other people did it. And at that point, I was like, it's all just a numbers game, Jenna. If you're able to come to training with a good list of names and numbers of people you could potentially show, I taught all those people how to schedule those up. She went and did about 3 to 4 demos a day in her first 10 days. And Jenna, all over virtual appointments, she's not from Colorado. She Ubers to the office. All of her virtual appointments sold over $10,000. And a big part was she was like, bet, all right, I'm going to go home. She's like, literally, if they're breathing and I know them, I'm going to practice with them. And that was Jenna's response when I told her to practice with a lot of people. And that's great. She went out and did it. There's a couple others up here that did the same thing. Now that's awesome. Jenna's that type of person. Athlete, motivated, top-level student. She wanted to go after that. I was on the exact opposite end of that spectrum when I first started the job. I was a little nervous. I got accepted to the team, but I still didn't know if I could do this job as best as some of the others. I was kind of dipping a toe in. So for me, I practiced with 15 to 20 people in my first 10 days. I did sell right around $3,500 when the Cutco made $500. And for me, that was more confidence building. After my first 10 days, I had sales, I had no sales, but for me, it was more confidence building. I was like, holy cow, I can do this. Like, I can sell a knife. Like, if I sit down with people and read my manual, call my manager, turn for help, like, I'm making sales. So that's the most important part. I could care less if Jenna sold $10,000 in her first 10 days or if she had sold absolutely nothing. The most important part to those first appointments with a rep out of training is that at the end of every single one of them, they get 5 to 10 referrals from every customer that they see. So by the end of Jenna's first 10 days on the job, she had about 180 brand new names and numbers of people she could practice with. Myself, I had close to 100 names and numbers that I practiced with a little bit less. But that's the most important part. Cool. Then I collect